Okay, so now we're going to talk about solving a system of equations by substitution. In order for you to be able to solve by substitution, one of your variables has to be solved for a single variable. For example, here we have the 4x and the y on the same side. Here we have y equals by itself because we want one variable equal by itself, because what we're going to do is we're going to substitute what y is in this equation. So here it says y is equal to 4x. So I'm going to take that and substitute it in for this y. So that gives me 4x plus, instead of y, it is 4x equals 24. So 4 plus 4 is 8x equals 24. Divide by 8, x equals 3. Now, I have one part of my answer. I have the x. Now I need to find the y. Here it tells me y is whatever 4x is. So I know that y is equal to 4 times 3, which is 12. So I have my y. Now remember, you want to write it as an ordered pair. So your answer is 3, 12. Let's take a look at one where the two variables are not solved. So on this one, you need to pick one that you want to solve for y. I could divide everything by -1 here, or I could subtract 3x from both sides. I'm going to divide both sides by -1 here. So I have -4x minus 1 equals y. So now I have y. I want to plug that in over here for that y. So that's going to give me 3x minus 4x minus 1 equals 0. So now 3x minus 4x is -1x minus 1 equals 0. Add 1 to both sides. -1x equals 1. Divide by -1, and x equals -1. Now, plug it in. Doesn't matter which equation you plug it into. I would actually prefer to plug it into this one because this one has so many negatives. So if I plug in x here, I have 3 times -1 plus y equals 0, -3 plus y equals 0, add 3 to both sides, y equals 3. So then my answer would be my x and my y. Now, they're not all that easy because sometimes, and let's look at this one, you're going to have it where you have numbers in front of your x and your y. Okay, so I need to take one of these and solve it for a variable. I'm going to solve this one, and I'm going to solve it for y just because I like solving for y. I don't want to do this one because there's numbers in front. It would make it harder in the long run. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides, and I get 3 equals -x. No, that's not right. I get y equals -x plus 3. So now I take this answer and I plug it in for y. So that gives me 3x plus 7 times -x plus 3 equals -3. That 7 has to be multiplied by the whole thing. So I have 3x, 7 times -x is -7x, 7 times 3 is +21, is -3. 3x minus 7x is -4x plus 21 equals -3. Subtract 21 from both sides. -4x equals -24. Divide by -4. X equals 6. And now I need to find out what y is. y is negative x plus 3. So negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3. So then my solution would be negative 3, 6. Now, sometimes you're going to have equations that look really weird. And let me show you what one of those looks like. This one is easy because it's solved for us. So now I am going to plug in this for x. 3 times 7 minus 3y plus 9y equals 3. 21, I'm sorry, it was minus 9y plus 9y equals 3. Now, the 9y's cancel out, so I end up with 21 equals 3. Is that possible in any situation? Can 21 ever be equal to 3? No. So there's no solution, which means it's an empty set. If you have a solution where it is x equals x, and that's where you have an infinite number of solution. I can't spell infinite. And that's where the two lines are on top of each other. All right, so that is solving systems of equations by substitution.